this week's episode, we head out to one of the great wonders of the world on the latest stop of our grand tour of South America. Our journey began with a coach ride to Atlanta, where we would board our Peru Rail Vistadome service to Aguas Calientes. Travelling through the Andes mountain range, our train featured large panoramic windows, giving all a view of the magnificent scenery. We pulled into the station, and after a short walk through the town, it was time to jump back on a bus for a brief but winding journey up the mountain. We had arrived with tickets at the ready. This was it. We were moments away from one of the 7 wonders of the world. The incredible Machu Picchu. Hiram Bingham III was a lecturer at Yale University, and although not a trained archaeologist, his enthusiasm and hunger for knowledge about the area helped him gain the trust and expertise from locals. He discovered and saw for the first time the ruins on July the 24th, 1911. The Incan site on his initial visits were covered mainly in vegetation, except the clear terraces which were still being used by local Quecha people in the area. Bingham's excitement to discover more led to further expeditions, but this time he was sponsored by Yale University and National Geographic. Two high-altitude routes from Machu Picchu cross the mountains back to Cusco. One is through the Sun Gate. It's believed that the steps were a control gate for those who enter and exited the sanctuary. Though Machu Picchu is considered to be a royal estate, surprisingly it would not have been passed down in the line of succession. It seems that its history is no more than 80 years before being abandoned, seemingly because of the Spanish conquests in other parts of the Inca Empire. The various compounds within the city are called canchas. They are long and narrow in order to exploit the terrain. Sophisticated channeling systems provided irrigation for the fields, and stone stairways set in the walls allowed access to the different levels across the site. The Temple of the Sun is built on the same rock overlying Bingham's royal mausoleum, and is similar to the Temple of the Sun found in Cusco and Pisac. At 7,970 feet high, perched on a ridge, Machu Picchu consists of more than 200 buildings, some made by the Incans and others by an older civilization long before the Incans arrived. The stonework differs around the side from the beautifully worked smooth stonework where stones sit perfectly together, to a more traditional style we would associate with the early 15th century and the Incans. Much of the farming done at Machu Picchu was done on its hundreds of man-made terraces, a considerable engineering feat, built to ensure good drainage and soil fertility whilst also protecting the mountain itself from erosion and landslides. However, the terraces were not perfect, and studies done have found that some geological events occur, such as earthquakes, which would have caused a shift of the landmass. Machu Picchu was declared a Peruvian Historic Sanctuary in 1981 and a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983. In 2007, Machu Picchu was voted one of the new 7 Wonders of the World. Hiram Bingham, who wrote his book The Lost City of the Incas back in 1948 to great acclaim, would never have imagined the legacy of his discovery. A man who was the catalyst for a modern-day hero, Indiana Jones, a man who came and discovered this awe-inspiring site, and a man who left humanity with a treasure of the likes we will never see again. Machu Picchu Pueblo, also known as Aguas Calientes, is a location in Peru situated in the Cusco region, the Urubamba province. It's the closest access point to the historical site of Machu Picchu, which is around 6 kilometers away. Now, there are many hotels and restaurants for tourists as well as natural hot baths, which gave the town its colloquial Spanish name. A few families first settled here back in 1901. The settlement was then transformed into a busy railway workers' camp during the construction of the railroad through there in the late 1920s. The rail line was eventually completed in 1931. The town centre houses a small church and has a lovely square with numerous statues dedicated to the Inca people. This is the perfect tourist spot before heading to Machu Picchu. Once again, we take you on a quick tour of our hotel. If you're thinking of coming on this tour or just staying here for a couple of nights, the Inca offers a style like no other. Popular with those heading to the ancient citadel of Machu Picchu, Inca Machu Picchu Pueblo Hotel is an intimate Andean village with terraced hills, waterfalls, stone pathways and 83 whitewashed adobe casitas tucked away in the cloud forest. The feel of being inside a tropical rainforest is maybe something you've always dreamed about. The 12 acres of grounds hold some of the most exquisite natural beauty you could wish for, along with around 214 bird species and the world's largest native collection of orchids, numbering 372. explore the gardens and sanctuary. The in-house excursions are available too to show the wildlife, flora and fauna. First-class dining, a spa, shop and beautiful Peruvian-inspired bedrooms which give a feel of serenity and calm in this truly authentic setting. The restaurant serves Andean cuisine with a contemporary approach, creating innovative fusion-style fare. The cloud forest is alive and you can walk around this magical landscape, seeing as many as 18 different hummingbirds which have been identified on the grounds, including the booted racket-tail and the green and white hummingbirds which are native to the area. Coming up next time on our South American adventure, we head back to Cusco and discover more of this capital of the Incan Empire.